welcome to the Just for Gamers video game podcast. Episode 65, Back to Normal. In this episode, I've been a bit lazy with editing. I might have missed a few cuts here and there. Also, I can't be asked to do an intro, so here's some soothing sounds of a whale. Enjoy.
Hello and welcome to the JfG podcast. This is episode 65. My name is Alex and I'm joined as ever by my good friend Ash. Hey buddy, how are you?
Hey buddy, as always, I'm more than good today. I'm in a great mood. It's because
Really?
I haven't got to think about a lot tonight, you know. It's been pretty heavy the past couple of weeks, I must say. Doing the E3 coverage and also the Uncharted spoiler and whatever the episode was before that. See, I can't even remember what we talked about in that normal episode. It's just been so much.
It's been pretty manic. I think we've done something around the region of 8 hours of podcasting in the last sort of 7-8 days. So,
I mean, that's a lot of talking to each other.
It is. It's a lot of talking and not a lot of gaming. And that's
Exactly.
the real crux of the matter, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really hit me, to be honest, this week, the lack of gaming that I've done, which isn't good, buddy. I need to play more games because, hell, that's why we do this podcast.
Yeah, what else are you going to do, you know?
I'll tell you what I did if you want to know.
I do want to know. What you've been up to?
What have I been up? That's a great question, buddy. Well, Sunday was Father's Day, wasn't it? Oh, good times.
You're one of them.
I'm one of them. I've got 3 kids. Yeah. So I got some new socks, buddy, which was lovely.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I actually asked for some new socks. But what was a surprise was getting some new sunglasses, which I didn't expect, because literally the other week, like within 2 weeks, I broke my my Ray-Bans, which I was a bit upset about.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it wasn't cool. But yeah, the old wife surprised me with some nice new, I think they're like Timberland or something, I don't know. But they're very comfortable and they smell nice, which is helpful because they're next to my nose.
Well, 'tis the season, buddy.
Indeed, buddy. I've been using them a lot the past few days.
I'm disappointed you're not wearing them at the moment, to be honest, but...
they are in the car. I mean, I could go get them, but I mean, that would be stupid.
Perhaps not.
Apart from that, buddy, I've been editing podcasts mainly.
I've been doing that as well,
I
buddy.
know. I mean, literally, all both of us have been editing lots of podcasts. Because I tell you what, there were some issues with that last one. Not me, not just you, buddy. I had issues as well. It wasn't
very
good.
rare that we have problems your side of things. You know, normally it's my fucking ghetto ass thing that's kind of screwing things up with my like Shure SM58 vocal mic and
it's fine. Don't worry about
instrument mic rather, not vocal mic.
No,
might be part of the problem.
It's fine. Don't worry about it, buddy. I mean, I'm in the same boat there. But yeah, I'm quite glad that that's over with, and we've got another year till E3. I mean, I don't think we're going to do the same kind of coverage on Gamescom or anywhere, so that's good news.
People don't want to hear you moaning about E3, buddy.
I don't want to go to E3 next year, buddy. Oh, no. Gibbons, buddy. Touche. Yeah.
No, it was a slog, though, wasn't it? It was a slog, and... yeah, it's one of those where if we had lots and lots of spare time, then we could have done, you know, maybe like a half-hour show a night for each conference, and that would have been bite-sized and probably better.
Yeah.
But we don't really have the opportunity to do that because we have very busy lives, and this isn't our day job. So
that's true. I've
been enjoying everyone else's coverage of it, though.
It's been good. It's been really good. Some interesting stuff. Some good interviews. I listened to one with the old Phil motherfucking Spencer.
Oh, yeah.
That was a beautiful. Beautiful interview. Enjoyed that. I'm a little bit excited, but we'll talk about that later.
Gibbons.
Apart from that, buddy, I want to play some Battlefield 4 for some reason. I want to shoot some dudes in the face, army style, mainly because for some reason I'm excited about Battlefield 1.
Well, I don't think that's surprising, buddy. That's a very good-looking game. I'm sure it's going to be good fun.
I hope so. But yeah, for some reason I'm jonesing for some murder. You know,
pretty want to buy Hardline, mate.
No. I've already got Battlefield 4.
We'll get to that.
Okay. But yeah, obviously I have done other stuff, but you know, it's meaningless and unimportant. So what have you been up to, buddy?
Other than watching loads of sport, because there's loads of sport, I have been editing the Uncharted spoiler cast, which came in around the 5.5 hour mark.
Wow.
And obviously, therefore, required quite a lot of editing.
That's ridiculous.
So, yeah, well, some of it's like silences and bullshit and nonsense and that, but because we recorded twice. And the second time we recorded, I think we kind of thought, oh, that was quite bright and breezy, which it probably would have been had we not already done 2 hours. But but yeah, I've been working. This is the sort of hatchet job I've been doing on this, buddy. There's probably 4.5 hours of talking there, and I'm trying to get it down to 2.
Oh, wow.
So it's... yeah, because we really did waffle a hell of a lot, so I'm trying to make it nice and snappy.
Nice,
but that's taken up a lot of time. Been doing a little bit of that each night. And then, yeah, other than that, I have been out. I went to Pizza Express and had a really nice meal, and found out I still don't like olives.
Well, I mean, that will happen, buddy. I mean, I found out that I liked beetroot about 6 months ago. That was weird.
Shit.
That was
Maybe
a crazy
I need to give
experience.
beetroot another go. That's on my list of things I apparently don't like.
Yeah, I was like, I can't see anything wrong with this. I'll eat this. It's nice with a bit of chili. Fact.
I might have to give that a go, buddy. We had the old antipasti starter, the platter, last night. It's pretty fucking special. And some sort of ridiculous Hawaiian pizza with pineapple chutney. And normally I don't like Hawaiian pizzas.
That's crazy.
But this one had a carbonara base and had like chili oil in it as well. Ooh. And it was, I would probably describe it as cray.
Cray. Okay, cool. Did it have the standard cocaine dipping sauce?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
goes without saying. Gotta
nice,
be done.
buddy. Like it.
So yeah, other than that, buddy, watched the Grand Prix. It was very disappointing. The old Baku. It was really dull. It was quite shit, just like the England national team.
Now, what happened?
Although, I don't know if you caught this evening's games, buddy.
I did.
Playing Iceland in the next round.
That's nice. I caught the last 15 minutes of it, and I was like, ooh, this could be interesting. And I was like, either Hungary need to score or Iceland need to score. And then it was like, literally, the game finished, and it was like, oh, we're just, yep. We don't know, but possibly Iceland have scored to win. And yeah, they had. Lovely jubbly.
So yeah, that's going to be an interesting fixture. I look forward to seeing England lose to Iceland on Monday.
Yeah, me too, buddy.
That'll be a new one for all of us.
Well, they need to do well, both teams, and it just depends on how retarded we are, I reckon.
Indeed, which is usually very.
Ooh.
So yeah,
I'm going to blame Joe Hart right now.
Yeah, it's probably going to be him. Yeah. Should play Fraser Forster, mate.
It'd be a good shout, that.
So the only other news I have is that part of my podcast setup means that I'm kind of looking vaguely towards my window, and seems to be someone staring at me over the road, just staring right at me. I'm looking
is it a dedicated
back.
fan?
If you're on the YouTube right now, you can see that I'm holding gaze, and I'm looking straight at someone, and they're looking straight at me. I don't know who they are or why they're looking at me, but I'll let you know what they do.
They're a huge fan.
As we move on.
Has he got a cock in hand?
Can just see his face.
Can't see his waist. Yeah, that's something to worry about.
He could be doing anything down there, mate. I don't know.
Nice, buddy.
I'll keep you posted.
Thanks. Please do.
Meanwhile, let's go talk about what we've been playing. So it's old favourites this week, isn't it? Because we haven't been playing very much stuff. I've just been kind of doing lots of other things while I'm, I've got other screens on the go, or I'm nipping into
favourites?
games.
What are you on about? This I've never played this game before, single player.
Fucking Pez, mate. It's
I
Pez.
know. I've never played it before. What are you on about? I've only played it online. It's all right, isn't it? Been playing some Pez Be a Pro, whatever it's called. Is it called? What's it called? Be a Pro? Yeah.
Become a legend?
Legend. That's it.
There you go.
Be a legend. So yeah, I started my career. I thought I'd already done that before, but no. Played a game and I'll pop the trophy. So that was nice. It's all right. Yeah. Can't complain. I feel like I should have done it about, I don't know, a year ago or so when we first got the game. I feel like I'm going to, when the new ones come out, depending on which one we get, I don't know, FIFA or PES, I think I'm going to play a bit more single player, which would be cool.
Yeah, it's my go-to game for just, what should I do? I know. I'll do that. It's more-ish, and you don't have to think too much. It's quite a relaxing one. Yeah,
definitely, buddy. I would agree with that. So, I mean, no one really cares about PES. So, I don't know. Do you want to talk about your escapades into PES, buddy?
Only briefly. You've been playing Become a Legend. I've been playing My Club, which is the PES version of Ultimate Team. And I've just been playing through that. There's a trophy for... there's this stupid trophy on every PES, has been for 4 years, where you have to win 6 games in a row against the CPU on Superstar difficulty. And you might remember from last year, I think I talked about this on the podcast, whereby you need to... You have to play 45 games or something, because you have to win 6 in a row, and then it goes up a difficulty level, and then another 7 in a row, and so on.
That's dumb.
I was only actually 5 games off doing it just naturally, so I finished that off and did that, and then I kind of got a little bit stuck into it, saving up for a new manager with my My Club coins, buddy, because they try and get you to use the microtransactions.
A huge fan.
And building my team up more and more and more, and it's fun. But yes, that's it, really.
You got any fan favourites?
What players that I have?
Yes.
My whole team is absolute starlets. It's a who's who of Madrid, Barca, and Juve players. So
Dapper Dan.
Yeah, got Zlatan and Drogba playing front two.
Nice, buddy. Some good picks. Nice. Has it got the on FIFA, it has the marketplace where you can trade shit with other people? Has it got that?
No, it doesn't.
Good, because I did that a bit too much when I played Ultimate Teams. I don't know, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago? I was like,
yeah.
Oh dear. It's a dangerous thing to get into, I must say.
It's not as good as Ultimate Team, but no, it's missing a lot of the stuff that you'd quite like in there. But one of the biggest problems being that you don't necessarily buy packs like you do on Ultimate Team. You just buy the chance to sign one player, and then you just hit a button and it gives you a random player. It's a bit rubbish.
That is a bit rubbish.
But I've got so much currency saved up because I never played that mode. So I've got I think it's 10,000 to try and buy a good player, and I've got 350 grand. So
that'll do.
Yeah, it's good fun. I like it.
Nice. The other thing that we played on Sunday, which is seems to be community game night. So if you want to get involved, get in that PS4 community, the JfG podcast.
Yeah.
And come and join us on a Sunday evening. Obviously, evening being what was it? Greenwich Mean Time, British Central Time. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, we're on BST at the moment, but basically
full sack time.
Yeah, when if it's 5 in the States, then it depends what side you're on, doesn't it? But on the East Coast, it's a 5-hour difference. So if it's 5 p.m. in New York, then it's
if a train
10.
drives at 60 miles an hour with 3 people on it, and one of those guys dies, who's in trouble? So obviously look at time differences if you want. And yeah, just come and join us. We're normally on in the evening from about 8 till, I don't know, depends what time we're into, whenever. And yeah, this week we played some GTA 5, and it was lots of fun, buddy. It was good times getting back into that and just generally hooning about, I would say.
Yeah, we're just dicking about. It was really fun. We nipped on there because there's been the new update now, but we didn't actually make use of it. We just found 2.5 hours of just poncing about, flying helicopters into each other. Yeah, pretty much. Apologies to Mel Gibson's soul, who popped into the party when we were just all going to bed.
Yep. It was a bit late.
It was like 10 to midnight here, and we all had work in the morning, so we had to jip off. But come join us again next time, buddy.
Yeah. Old left foot wombat joined in. PJ Funk. Yeah, it was a good game night, and I definitely think that GTA 5, if other people have got it, is it's a good community game. We can all get in there and just be stupid. It was
nice to play some stunters versus snipers again after all this time as well. That was really fun.
We were surprisingly good at that as well.
We were doing all right. Muscle memory and all that.
Yeah.
You seemed to manage to get up there like 3 times in a row, like first time. That was something.
It's because I've been practicing, buddy.
That's what it is. What it is.
Skills. That's me done, really. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I got if anyone's listening live at the moment, you can get Limbo on Steam for free. Obviously, that's only valid for the rest of today. So sorry if you're listening to the podcast when it's been recorded that you can't do that. But yeah, I've got Limbo now, buddy, and I might play through that, which is cool. Even though it's really game. Old, but yeah.
It's actually the new game from those guys is out this week.
Yes, so, and that's why I think it was like some kind of promotion or something to do with it. So yeah, I'm going to hopefully get my teeth into that quickly for a bit.
Nice.
Gibbons, buddy. Have you got anything else you want to talk about?
Other than the standard game night fare, where I think we played some very drunken Overwatch for a little while.
It went well, I believe.
It was good. Yep.
Some Blaze Rush as well, buddy.
And some Blaze Rush, which was joyous, of course.
New favourite game, Blaze Rush.
Pretty special. The other thing I have been playing is Formula 1. I've been playing the F1 career mode, or I say career mode, it fucking barely is a mode of any kind. It's just a procession of races. But I've been tucking into that, doing like the 25% races in the McLaren, in the Fernando Alonso skip on wheels. And
nice,
I've been really enjoying that, like trying to get points each race is like a massive, like rewarding
points,
thing.
Win prizes, buddy.
Get like 6th or something. It's like, this is unbelievable. I had an amazing race at Silverstone where I put the harder compound tyres on so that I could go a bit longer. And on the 6th or 7th lap, they all pitted because they were on the faster, softer tyre.
Yeah.
And then just as it came time for me to pit, the old pitman came over the old comms and said that they're expecting rain in 5 minutes. And I was like, oh shit, hang on a minute. This could be hugely fortuitous to me. So yeah, I went in lap 10, managed to keep on my tyres until lap 10, and then pitted for intermediate tyres, and then they all had to pit again. Fucking won the race because I only had to pit once.
That's what you call skills.
Yeah, so
listening to old Phil Pittman there.
Yep, but it's a really fun game. I had a moment last night where I was going around the Hungarian track and the whole thing locked up for like a second and then threw me into the barrier. Yeah, special.
It's not cool.
I didn't think it would record the freeze like that, but it just did. So yeah, if you want to see that, then it's on our YouTube channel.
Or you could see me getting twatted on game night.
That is also on our YouTube channel.
I think it's on our Twitch. It's not on YouTube, unfortunately. It's on our Twitch feed, buddy. Because I was like, it's only a 10-second thing. I'll throw it on Twitch instead.
Nice.
I don't know if we could put it on YouTube from there, probably. I don't see why.
Yeah, probably work it out. Yeah. It's quite funny.
Yeah. I mean, the commentary that I give was just brilliant.
I'm very excited about the next F1. I just hope that it isn't as buggy and fucked as this one was. And
true.
You would hope that with the new engine, and the fact that with the new engine having been used for a year, all of those problems should have been ironed out before the release of this one. But we shall see. But that's for the next section anyway, buddy. So.
What's that section, buddy?
And now it's time for the news.
The news.
The news.
Fucking news. I don't know how I'm going to edit that, but we'll do it.
It'll work.
Yeah.
Number one.
Number Wang.
But we're still in the fallout from all of the E3 gubbins, buddy. So, firstly,
I'm still well excited for E3. I can't wait.
Can't get enough. The Xbox One S, or Xbones, will not improve existing games' performance, but the Scorpio could.
I like how you said could.
Yeah. So the Xbox One S is allegedly slightly more powerful and obviously has the ability to display 4K video.
Yes.
And there was a lot of umming and ahhing about whether that meant that it was actually going to be better at playing current Xbox One games. And apparently the answer is no, it isn't going to be better.
No, not at all. It was pretty much what we said the other week, how like hardware changes, like the reiterations of it and stuff, it will slightly change through it's not like they built the original Xbox One. Oh, that's a mouthful. The first I don't know what to call it, the Xbox One, I guess, and kept that same, like all those components were exactly the same. They will change over time, and like we said, with the smaller version, obviously there's going to be differences there. So there's probably like a little bit more power or whatever floating about, but no.
Yeah.
Be.
So what they're saying is that although that's the case, there will absolutely be the option for publishers and devs to release patches for the Scorpio. When the Scorpio comes out, a game that's coming out this year, like Gears, for example, could be patched to support higher resolutions, 4K support, and so on once the Scorpio
like
does come out.
it or something.
Yes. So that's good. I mean, that's the least I would fucking expect. Like, we're living in this reality of remasters, but then I suppose patching 4K into a game is not going to earn you money like a remaster is. So
no, definitely not.
And that's why they've said could rather than will, which is worth noting, I suppose. But
you'd like to see like all like the exclusive games, like you say, Gears of War, to get those kind of patches. I mean, really.
Yeah, the first party stuff, if they're pushing a new system, then you would hope that they would double down on that, but you never really know, do you?
True. Gibbons.
What we do know is the Scorpio is also going to have a launch lineup, just like a new console, mate. But
Shocker.
It isn't a new, it's not the Xbox 2, but it's going to have a launch lineup as though it was a new gen platform or whatever.
It kind of makes sense to do that because they're going to release games at that point anyway. Why not kind of like stack them together and be like, hey, they're all in 4K. Oh, woo-woo.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes perfect sense.
Yep.
The Scorpio will be 4.5 times more powerful than the current Xbox One.
That's pretty decent, I would say.
That's a big jump. The sort of jump you'd expect from the last gen to a new one.
Yes.
So
well, yeah, you're absolutely right. I think that's what it is. But I think that Microsoft are not very clever, but they can see how like people because everything's getting more digitized. Like people are going to start getting more frustrated. Like if they can't bring their digital library over with them, like you can on a PC, buddy.
Gibbons.
And they're not going to be happy about that, just to say on some bits that I've heard about it, with the Scorpio, apparently devs can pretty much do what they want with the power of it. They haven't got to focus on certain aspects. They can make their game run like at ridiculous frame rates, or they can have really lush graphical content and stuff like that. It doesn't seem like there's any continuity between like the Xbones and Xbone and the Scorpio. They are separate. But
I felt like they kind of said that as if to say games might still be 30. Like if a dev wanted to come in and make the most beautifully gorgeous 4K 30 frames per second game the world has ever seen, then that's fine. They're allowed to do that. I mean, the rumors coming out of Sony and the Neo camp were that you couldn't have a sort of variation in frame rate and stuff, but yeah,
because of the sheer jump in technology between the Xbox One and Scorpio, surely like you can't be like, no, you have to do this. It has to run at like 60 on both, because then they'd be like, fuck that. That ain't gonna run on 60 on that Xbox One. You're talking about. And
that is basically the same, isn't it, as saying like a 360 game has to run at 60 frames, as does an Xbox One game or whatever. Like the jump is that substantial.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, some cool stuff coming out of Microsoft at the moment, buddy. I like how they're being transparent, I would say, about it. You know, they're giving us the option to do what we want to do, I think.
Well, rather than hiding the announcement of a new system so that people will continue to buy the old one.
Yeah, in a way.
Which moves us on to Sony. Andrew House, he's been getting stuck in. He says he's surprised about the Xbox announcement of Scorpio this early, his words. And then of the Neo, he says all of the games will work on both systems, and their hope is that it stops folk jumping to PC. He said, Neo games will be delivered at a higher resolution with an enhanced graphical experience. We've traditionally seen that some of the core audience tends to gravitate back to high-end PCs at some point in the cycle, because these are the people who want the finest graphical performance. So here's a great opportunity to have them stay within our ecosystem.
Yeah, well, I definitely seem to have done that on a couple of occasions through the cycles of consoles.
You get itchy feet and you won't tolerate shite graphics anymore.
Pretty much, buddy. So I go and splooge a load of money on a new PC. I'm like, I need it.
Mate, you love video games. Like it's a no-brainer. You love video games, so that's why you do that. It makes perfect sense.
Exactly. And, you know, that's why I'm looking at, like, these fucking new NVIDIA cards now. I'm like, well, these are pretty good.
Yeah.
These seem to run at really good resolutions and frame rates and things that I care about. But yeah, that's nice coming out of Sony's mouth, old Andrew House.
Yeah, I do like Andrew House. Again, he's kind of got that transparency of someone like, you know, old motherfucking himself. But Yoshida waded in next, and he said that all of the games that you saw at E3 were running on a standard PS4. None of them were on PC or on a PS Neo. So that's impressive.
Hopefully, if he's telling the truth, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why he would sort of specifically state that if it wasn't true, but at the same time, I'm not sure anyone could disprove him. So that's worth noting.
I'm just thinking back to the days of Microsoft. They were good times when they had those PCs hidden away.
With the wrong graphics card in them.
Yep, that was funny. Enjoyed that.
And finally, PlayStation EU boss Jim Ryan says that he is happy with Sony's Neo strategy, which is often what someone says when they aren't happy. And he wishes Microsoft good luck on the Scorpio. The rumor is that the Neo is still going to launch this year, despite the fact that Sony haven't confirmed that they're even going to be at Gamescom. So, what the fuck is going on?
Wasn't it something to do about like the Tokyo Game Show or something that they were going to TGS? They were going to announce something. I'm sure I read something a while ago.
That's pretty late in the year, though, to be announcing a console unless you release it on the spot.
It's under your chairs, buddy. It's a known proven tactic.
It can happen, but doesn't seem to bode well with a console. Then there's the fact that it looks on paper as though the Neo is like less than half the power of the Scorpio. and they're going to be coming out within a year of each other. Why would you buy a Neo? I don't know.
I'm definitely not buying a Neo. I can live with my PS4 for another year quite happily, and then I'm looking at the Scorpio going like, you're coming out around about near enough the time that I'll be happy to spunk out another load of money on another games console. And it seems like like the 6 teraflops is that's hitting me quite nicely. And in the interview with Giant Bomb, he was doing he was talking about all like the different tests and things that they were doing, and he was like, it seemed to be like 6 teraflops was the optimal thing for a console to be able to hit 4K gaming. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, he says optimal, but the word he should have used was the minimum.
Yeah, totally. We understand that, but
the minimum power to scrape it is 6 teraflops.
I think that this day and age, like, we all know that the consoles are going to be underpowered. Like, they have to be, otherwise it's just not feasible. But yeah, if I can get that experience next year, in like a year and a half, then yeah, sweet, I'm in. I'll do that. I'll buy a new TV as well. Fuck it.
I think for me, I'm more interested in. I want to see Sony's strategy, and now I know that the Scorpio isn't out until next Christmas. I feel like I don't need to worry. Like, I've got time to weigh up the two strategies.
Totally. We're not in a rush to jump and get this like new PlayStation Neo, or again, no rush to get PlayStation VR now. For me, anyway, I'm definitely holding off on that.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I think what it will come down to is whether. The hardware in the Neo, there's every chance that Sony, having not announced anything,
it could be anything.
They can change it. If they haven't started manufacture, then Microsoft have shown their hand now. So
True. I mean, if maybe they've got like so many units built, and they'll just be like, no, burn them all.
Yeah, bury them in the desert with that ET game. Maybe perfect.
Yeah, true. We're gonna hunt them down, buddy.
And if Sony announced that the Neo was coming out and it was just a little like half step, and then in a year and a half's time, if like 6 to 12 months after the Scorpio is supposed to come out, Sony are launching a new PlayStation, which will inevitably be more powerful than the Scorpio and will be backwards compatible because that's the way consoles are going, then I will just wait. I'm happy to wait 2 years and then move on to the next PlayStation.
3 years, buddy.
Well, it's 2.5 years, isn't it? Yeah, I can wait that long.
Okay.
We shall see, buddy. Very exciting stroke fucking annoying.
Yes, totally. I'm so aroused and disappointed at the same time.
Yeah, we'll just be like crying into our old consoles.
I'm just going to get a PC. Well, upgrade my PC and then it'll be fine.
Okay. Well, let us know how that goes.
I will.
Because none of us will be playing with you. Number 2 on the news. Sea of Thieves is delayed until 2017. Nice of them to wait until after the Xbox conference for this essentially first-party game to be delayed. Officer Barbrady, I want to declare shenanigans on this carnival operator.
So true, buddy. I mean,
shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
I cannot get the ball into Jennifer Love Hewitt's mouth. What the fuck?
Calling shenanigans.
Low blow, buddy. Wait until after your conference. That delay was there before the conference. I think we can probably agree on that.
But then they need to get the, it was part of the conference, and it's like, oh, first party stuff. Look at this. It's not out till next year.
Yeah.
Oh well. That will happen. These things happen.
Yep.
Oh well.
We'll move on. F1 2016 has a release date. It's the 19th of August, and I am buying it. There you go.
Good news, buddy. Is that going to be a pre-order, pre-purchase? As this is what we have to do nowadays. Apparently.
I want it. And the fact that it's got like a really, really in-depth career mode where you make your own racer.
10-year career.
You make your own racer and you
make your own helmet, buddy.
Helmet. Yeah. Everyone loves a good, well-polished helm.
Yeah, give it a good spit shine.
So it doesn't matter if the online's fucked at launch. I'm just going to blindly buy this game. Thanks very much, Codemasters.
It does look really, really good. I'm very excited about this game. And we're going to play it, and fingers crossed, buddy, co-op career.
Yeah, that'd be lovely. Or at least lots and lots of customization in the online lobbies so that we can kind of create one of our own.
Not the choice of, what is it, like 3, 5, or 25% laps.
Yeah, I was thinking, though, we should do that. We should do some co-op career, because I can make a room, queue up a section of races.
Not the same, buddy.
I know it's not the same. It's not skinned properly and it just doesn't feel right, but we could give it a go. We might enjoy it.
We could do that.
Either way, I'm very excited about that.
Yes.
And, and get me wheel out and brush it up.
Beautiful.
So next, Hello Games finally settles secret dispute with Sky over using the word Sky in their title.
Mental.
Ridiculous, this. Obviously, this was secret, so no one knew that this was happening, and finally it's been settled this week, so now we know. Sean Murray tweeted...
Now we know.
We know now.
We know now.
Sean Murray tweeted, "Yay, we finally settled with Sky. Brackets, they own the word Sky. We can call our game No Man's Sky. 3 years of secret, stupid, legal nonsense over." This is the same folks who made Microsoft change SkyDrive to OneDrive.
I prefer
so it was
OneDrive.
Pretty serious. Me too. On the plus side, perhaps this is the real reason Skynet never happened. Fair
Possibly,
point.
buddy.
Could be. Could this be why that game was delayed? Because that game's supposed to... It was supposed to already be out, wasn't it, at this point?
Yeah, true. I don't think that would be the main reason. Surely not.
I know it seems kind of, unimportant, but you can't put the game out while that is still happening, or you'd have to recall it all, wouldn't you? So, I don't know. I just wondered that when I saw that had come out to like this week of all weeks. I thought, well, wasn't the game supposed to be out now? And maybe this is one of the reasons why it isn't. But yeah,
it's definitely a possibility. But fuck me, they own the word Sky, buddy.
Yeah, no one really should own the word Sky.
No,
I don't think.
That's insane. Like, it's not even just the word. It's No Man's Sky. Like, it's the word Sky.
Yeah. Well, it's old Murdoch, though, isn't it?
Why would you own? How? No.
You buy enough lawyers, and you can be the cunt.
I don't like it. I mean, what happens if someone buys my name? I'm fucked.
Yeah, you'll have to change it, buddy.
Jesus Christ. Maybe that could be my new name.
Jesus Christ.
Do you reckon I'll get away with it?
I don't think anyone's going to own the rights to that one. Maybe Andrew Lloyd Webber. I don't know.
Maybe. Maybe.
Either way, that's all from me, buddy, on the news. So I think it's time to move into old Ash's news favourite things of the week.
If you like news but hate information, you have found the right place. Ash's news favourite thing of the week.
Gibbons, buddy, once again, the trifecta threefold news announcements are coming at you quick and fast, but probably a bit slow. So number one on this section, Sony patents a leaked PS4 controller with paddles and adaptable layout.
Ooh!
There you go. That's a headline for you. Next one. The UK is getting its first 24-hour esports channel.
All right.
Yep. Ginx TV, Ginx, Ginx? Or I wouldn't say Jinx. Would it be Jinx?
I think Jinx makes more sense, although...
Probably. I mean, it does make more sense.
Someone must own Jinx with a J.
Yeah.
So
it's partnering with Sky and can't say Sky, sorry. With Sky and ITV to create the UK's first 24-hour esports channel. It will have coverage of the Dota 2's the international and other esports stuff. So there you go, buddy. You're going to be able to watch it from the 23rd of June It's going to be on Sky Channel 470. But I haven't got Sky,
prime spot there, not right up in the old echelons of Al Jazeera.
No, it's actually in like the Sky Sports section. Yeah. It's crazy. So
somewhere around Man United TV and Motors TV, perhaps, or at the races.
Favorite. Gibbons. So yeah, that's good news. And my favourite bit of news this week, because I'm quite excited about this game and was worried about this. Watch Dogs 2 is not going to have Ubisoft's towers.
Wow, okay.
I know. It's a bold move, Cotton.
They're learning.
Yeah. It's not a game where you open your map and everything's there. There are no towers. You just explore the world, apparently. There you go.
Like GTA.
Yeah, true.
Well, good.
I know. So I'm quite excited about Watch Dogs 2. It looks pretty cool. There might be some kind of crazy multiplayer aspect to it. But I'm sure it won't live up to the standards, just like most Ubisoft games as of now.
Nice. I feel exactly the same. There could be some really interesting multiplayer modes there, but as a single player experience, I'm still holding everything up alongside GTA 5 and then laughing at it. So
yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. I think it looks really pretty, and there looks to be lots of good ideas there. But I seem to be getting more and more skeptical about Ubisoft games recently, and so yeah, I don't know. We shall wait and see on that one. But that lead character looks like an absolute fuckhole. Like,
mate,
really.
not the lead character is all right compared to his like sidekick buddy with the face mask.
Yeah,
that guy looks
face
absolutely
mask boy.
Fucking like. Who fucking designed that guy? Seriously, it's like, yeah, we'll give him like emojis and things for eyes. Yeah, great idea, guys. It's like, what? Why would you do that?
It was after a lot of research into the youth, buddy. That's what happened there. Probably.
Fuck, I am so glad I'm not part of this fucking youth. Jesus Christ.
Probably best.
They are a bunch of retards.
It can happen. Well, thank you very much, buddy. Some good stuff there.
No problems, buddy. Quick and fast.
I like it. So I like it as well.
Yeah, me too.
I also like that as well.
Moist.
Yes. Flange.
Wet.
And that's the news. And now it's time for Fonz or Phoenix.
So what have we got this week, buddy? In, out, up, down, roundabout. I've forgotten all the slogans, mate. Sorry.
It's been like I think it's been 4 weeks since we did a podcast to the standard format.
I'm so out of touch. It'll come back.
This is going to be a Phoenix, buddy.
Ah, boo.
Boo.
That is bad, isn't it? I can't remember.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
That is bad. This is the news this week that Criterion's multi-vehicle game has been cancelled. Further proof that E3 is a load of old shit.
I love it.
So yeah, this is Beyond Cars, which was the project title, and this made up that 2014 EA show that was utter fucking drivel. As they showed off a load of stuff that wasn't real and was never going to happen. And yeah, so there you go. It's being cancelled. It will allow the studio to focus its efforts on the upcoming Star Wars Battlefront VR experience.
Yep.
And EA says, build new ideas.
Ideas. Cool.
Yep.
Oh, I'm totally bummed out about that, buddy, because that game, I want a new Burnout / extreme vehicle stupid game. That sounds cool.
I thought it looked really good, but then, it was in our top 5 of things that we were announced and then we never saw. just like my game Tree that I'm working on, of course.
I love Tree. Can't wait. It's going to be the best. Has that been delayed till 2017? Have you come out and said that?
There's not a release date at this time, buddy. I'm not willing to comment, but I'll be making announcements going forward.
Don't forget to update the Kickstarter page and things.
Yeah, I'm currently working on a Star Wars Battlefront VR experience level, so I'll let you know when I've done with that.
Cheers, buddy. I can't wait. I love VR.
So yeah, there you go. Criterion, we were hoping they were working on a game. They appear to just be some fucking skivvies now that get chucked around the industry to finish off things that people have fucked up for EA. That
like
seems to be where we are.
Dirty 2-bit hooker.
Yep, some sort of cheap harlot. That's where they are now. They're a company that have got a rich pedigree of racing games. So time for Codemasters to buy them, I think.
Yeah,
probably the best bet. Either way, I'm just bummed because I thought that game looked really interesting. I loved the concept, and I just think it just shows how fucking little EA have in their conferences. They show you all this target footage and CG and lack of like substance, and this is what happens. Like, you're just watching a fucking nothingness conference of wastage of time.
Oh, so, definitely. I love in-engine rendered shit.
Yeah,
that means
good stuff.
It means nothing to me.
Stuff that isn't textured and target art and stuff.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, Phoenix, big old Phoenix.
Boom.
And now it's time for Out This Week.
That's out this week. Yes.
Bloody is, buddy. Firstly, we've got 7 Days to Die is out this week. That's on Xbox One and PS4. This is something that Mel Gibson's soul is ultra super pumped about. And I think we're probably going to be picking this up, provided it doesn't review incredibly badly, because it looks like a good bit of co-op DayZ-esque sort of fun, doesn't it?
Definitely does, buddy. Yeah, you're not too wrong. It's currently sitting on the store at $28.99, just on Steam right now, and you can get it for obviously $18.99, which I don't think that that's that bad. Like the price up, £10 on the console. That's pretty average. So I was expecting it to be a lot cheaper for some reason on Steam, like in the 10 below. But yeah, I'm very, very much looking forward to it. This is voxel, isn't it? Voxel?
Yeah, all voxel-based texturing, and the world's going to be made like that, which usually means slightly lower detail, but everything's kind of more rounded. Like the polygons, everything being made up of sort of pointed edges and stuff, makes it hard to render a realistic-looking landscape, whereas voxel technology kind of allows you to create shapes of any kind rather than sort of triangles, which means that you can make more natural looking environments. There you go, buddy. I know stuff about something.
He knows things. Well done, buddy. That was nicely done. Yeah, so it's all going to be co-op based and stuff like that. So yeah, should be a good giggle.
Yeah, rumours of split screen as well, which is always to be commended in this day and age for a 3D game. And then the other thing to note about it is that this is being published by Telltale, which is interesting as well. So
yeah, worrying.
Well, they're not involved in the actual development, I don't think. They're just publishing it. But
I'd like to see if there's like any like difference between the console version and the PC version, seeing as like the PC version's been out since like 2013.
Yeah, I think it'll come down to that's the thing, isn't it? Like, the performance could be... You always worry about the performance on consoles for a big open world game, even if it has had several years of testing. So yeah. I kind of want to see a couple of write-ups before we put the money down, but I'm looking forward to it. It looks really promising.
But I'm on the Steam store, obviously, and the game's still in early access.
Yeah, it's still listed in early access on PC, but...
It's like, it says it's in alpha stage still.
I'm pretty sure it's exiting on PC the same day it launches on consoles.
Okay.
I'm not...
Just a bit worried there, that's fine.
Looks interesting, though.
Yeah, Gibbons, buddy. We're still what people say, or if not, we'll just buy it and play it, and it will have fun.
And then we'll tell people whether to
gibbons.
buy it as well.
Just like Blaze Rush.
You're welcome. No, that went well. That was fine.
Yeah, it did.
Also out this week, we have Full Mojo Rampage. That's also on the Xbox One and PS4. It's a top-down 4-player co-op shooter. Very colourful, very cartoony, bit of sci-fi. Looks quite fun.
Nice.
We have Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens on everything. Xbox
Have you played
One,
the demo
360.
of that yet?
No, I haven't.
It's good. It's really good.
It looked great from the stuff I saw of the E3 coverage.
They're definitely like improving on their games. Did I say this last week? I can't remember.
I think you did, yeah. I think you were quite taken by it.
Yeah, it's really good. Anyway, but at least play the demo, buddy. It's cool.
Yeah, I think the demo's on the PS Store and it's also on the Xbox Live as well, so you can check it out on both. It's coming out on the old consoles as well, so it's 360, PS3, Wii U, Vita, 3DS. It's coming out on everything. What? Apparently Vita. I don't know what that will be, but apparently Vita.
Cool. I'm in.
Next, Prison Architect, which is a game that's been on Steam forever. I've seen lots of videos of people playing that. It's never really interested me, to be honest. But
do you think I'd be good at that?
I don't know. I mean, you've certainly got the pedigree for it, buddy, working as you do in a literal prison.
Factual prison, yeah.
Yeah. That's out on Xbox One and PS4 this week.
Nice.
Resident Evil 5, which is a remaster coming out on Xbox One and PS4. I personally think that is a terrible fucking game, but I know some people liked it. I think Funk played through that with Bob, like on the 360, Resident Evil 5. It had like full-blown co-op, and I think they quite enjoyed it. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of the Resident Evil games, although that new one looks interesting. But
scary as fuck.
Could be worth a punt. I'm not sure.
I'm alright, thanks.
Me too. We have the Technomancer that's coming out on Xbox One, PS4, and PC. This is a sci-fi hack and slash RPG. Looks really cool, actually. I really like the look of this. Gonna have to do a bit more research into this and see some review scores breaking because it looks really interesting and very pretty as well. Graphically lovely, and it's not coming out as a full price release on the consoles either, so it could be worth a punt. That I'm not sure, but it's certainly got a lot of characteristics of games that I like, so I'm gonna have to do some research on that one.
Nice, buddy.
And finally this week, Inside is coming out on the Xbox One. This is the spiritual successor to Limbo, and it looks fucking great. I've been watching some video footage of this today.
Yep.
And it looks really nice, and I'm quite jealous that I can't buy it on PS4.
It's a shame, buddy.
Is that coming out on PC as a timed thing? I think it is. I think so.
I have no idea.
I think that it is.
Cool.
But yeah, out this week on Xbox One. And that is out this week.
That's out this week.
And now it's time for the JfG Top 5.
Just for Gamers Top 5.
So what's the top five this week, buddy?
This seemed like a bit of a no-brainer. You suggested this earlier, and I was like, yeah, obviously, that's perfect. 1 week after E3, we probably want to look back on E3. So this is the top 5 E3 conference moments of 2016.
Nice, buddy. It was a good shout by me.
It was well played. He's absolutely right.
So, I mean, you wrote this down, but I agree with all of these, and pretty much in that order as well. Number 1 being the Scorpio, buddy. That was a great time.
Yes. I don't think you can beat... at an E3 conference, you cannot beat a hardware reveal. Nope. Especially when that hardware is vastly more powerful than anything on the market.
It's the most powerful console to date.
Yes, it is. It's looking at it from this point, it's a very impressively powerful console, and was always going to be the standout announcement at E3, and it absolutely was, and therefore has to be on our list. To be honest, it was very exciting, and it's still all kind of weird, all of the mixed messaging, and I've been listening to some podcasts this week that suggest that Sony, the Sony strategy of iterating a little bit and more regularly kind of makes more sense. But to be honest, I think I prefer the look of the Microsoft process of, every 4 years we'll bump it up to 4 times the power and you can play your old games on it. That makes more sense to me.
I'm happier with that, because these things are going to cost a lot of money each time.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless they bring in some sort of trade-in system, which they won't. Why would they do that? That would be retarded.
No. So yeah, I'm still yet to be convinced about the way that things are going in the console market, but at the same time, I am a huge fan of video games and cannot help but be excited for a console like the Scorpio with the specs that it has. So,
question, buddy. So, what a lot of people do, obviously, like with the phone model, every year they'll just get a new contract and pay like £30, £40, whatever a month. What about that kind of thing? Like, if you're guaranteed a new system every year, like a better system every year, would you pay like £20 a month, £30 a month for it?
No, personally I wouldn't, because I don't subscribe to that hardware model with the phones either.
No, yeah, me neither. I've bought my phone outright like 4 years ago and it still works. I'm fine.
Yeah. I'm using a 4-year-old phone and I'm on a £10 a month contract at this point.
Gibbons, so, me too.
I know a lot of people, it's par for the course to spend 35 quid on your phone each month. I would never do that. Nope. I don't care enough about phone hardware to do that. Having said that, I do care about console hardware, so perhaps I'd feel differently about that.
Buddy.
I still don't think so. I still don't think that I would do it just because it's such an alien concept to me, but I could certainly see people younger than me more than happy to do that.
Yeah. Well, just putting it out there, see what you're saying. I'm not doing a census or anything. I'm not working for Microsoft here. And
Interesting. Scribble. Interesting. Yeah. No, it's a fair point. Either way, the shock and awe factor of powerful hardware at E3 cannot be denied, and that is why the Scorpio makes our list.
Gibbons, buddy.
So the second thing on our list is you cannot deny the amazement at a brand new game, frankly, essentially a new IP, despite the fact that it isn't, but it might as well be. This is God of War, or The God of War, or as some of my favourite games journalists are calling it, Dad of War.
Dad of War. I can relate.
Yeah, pretty special. This was the standout reveal for me of the whole show, the whole of E3, and chuck an orchestra in at the start as well, buddy, and you've got a bit of a winner there, haven't you?
It's going to get the job done. Let's just put it that way.
This looked fantastic, didn't it? Have you ever played any of the old God of War games? And
no, because I just don't like the look of them. I don't like the camera style and things like that. But obviously, this is completely different, and it's definitely captured me. I like the fact that he seems to be some kind of bumbling idiot as well. Regarding to being a dad, I can relate to that as well, which is nice. And like the combat looks good, the graphics look fantastic. Like the setting is right up my alley, being some sort of like fantasy / European. Well, I think it's like meant to be somewhere like Norse or Norway-esque or some Scandinavian.
Yeah,
country,
it's got that Scandinavian Witcher thing going on, which is cool.
Yeah, but I'm very excited about this game, and I think this is going to be a day one purchase just because I'm so excited about it. I
think the interesting thing will be how it's kind of how it's taken to by people who were already fans of God of War.
I mean, we weren't. I mean, I don't know. Did you play them at all?
No, I've never touched them, and as such, I don't understand what allegedly makes a God of War game. Whereas I'm seeing complaints and criticism from people who are big fans of that franchise, saying that they're just turning it into another third-person IP rather than keeping it true to its roots. There's not as much of that as you'd expect, perhaps, because I think it was just such a jaw-dropping demo that they showed. But
yeah, we could always pick up the God of War 3 remastered version on PS4 at some point, couldn't we? Because I'm sure that
it's cheap on the store.
Yeah. So maybe that might be worth a punt just to have a playthrough, see what it's like.
Maybe. I'm just not sure it's going to be that relevant to this one. I think
not at all. I don't think it's going to be anything to do with it. Well, obviously,
very interesting
storyline. But apparently the story in this is like really in depth. A lot more than the other ones where he just gets angry and kills people.
Yeah, and there's room for both. But yeah, we shall see on that one. It's certainly, it's hard to argue with the fact that was the best looking thing at the whole of E3, and one of the most exciting things as well. So that's in our number 2.
Gibbons, buddy. It was a good one.
So number 3 on our list is Yves Guillemot's defiant stand against Vivendi, and this had to be in there. I don't know how. Is it common knowledge, all of this stuff? I don't really know. I've written a little explanation blurb in case, but I don't want people to think that I don't think you're an idiot, dear listener. I just wasn't sure how.
Tell me, buddy. You're talking to me right now. I have no idea what you're on about. Go on.
Okay. So this is what is known as a hostile takeover. This is where a company, in a sort of hostile, cutthroat fashion, buys up all of the shares of another company until they have a large majority of shares and can literally take that company over. And because that company is a public corporation where people are freely available to buy shares, the company, even though they don't want all of their shares bought by some other company, they can't stop it.
They have no choice.
And that's what's happening to Ubisoft at the moment. This is Vivendi. They've been slowly buying up shares in Ubisoft since October 2015. They bought 6.6% at that point, which was roughly 7.36 million shares, costing 161 million dollars. Sorry. They later upped their stake to 10.39%. Ubisoft, which remains a family-run business, called the moves unsolicited and unwelcome at the time. And then Vivendi has continued undeterred, purchasing 30% of sister company Gameloft, finally convinced shareholders to part with their remaining stock by offering 50% over market value. So they bought Gameloft outright. Yep. And they are now the majority shareholder, controlling around 56% of the vote. With the battle for Gameloft lost, the Guillemot brothers are now planning how best to save Ubisoft from a similar fate. So that's your background there, and then that makes things a lot clearer at the end of the Ubisoft conference, if you watched it this year, where Yves Guillemot came out on stage, assembled his entire development team behind him, and basically made a stand that was very much directed towards Vivendi. And this is what he said. As Aisha said, this year we celebrate our 30th birthday. That means 30 years in the best industry in the world. I love video games because the real innovation and magic happens when our teams and players are free to create, free to innovate, free to express themselves, free to take risks and have fun. That's what got us here today, and that is what will drive us for another 30 years and beyond, because when you are free, there is no failure, there is only forward. So yes, there you go.
Yeah, unfortunately, buddy, yesterday they acquired now 20.1% of the stake.
Yeah, they've been upping, and it's looking like they're just going to take them over. And
yeah, because like you said earlier, when they hit 30% in French law, it dictates that the media group must table a mandatory takeover bid, which would suck balls.
It's crazy, bizarre stuff, isn't it?
It really is.
And who knows what it would end up being? I mean, Ubisoft, they're a huge company now, and they've built up over many years, but their recent output hasn't been particularly decent, if you ask me. I kind of respect the way the franchises they go for are always ones that I'm interested in. So I think they're doing something right, but at the same time, possibly some sort of corporate strong-arming could improve their output.
You never know.
I don't know. Either way, you can see where he's coming from, having founded this business with his family, and it was certainly it was a staunch defense and a very interesting moment of E3. If you were familiar with the backdrop, I mean, if you weren't, then it could have just passed you by as an end speech to a conference. But there we go. So that's our number 3.
I don't know if that was good or bad, though. It's good that he stood up against him, but it's bad that it's happening still. Yeah,
it is.
Number 4, buddy.
Number 4 was the tributes to Orlando. Yeah. This was, E3 was happening at the same time as the Orlando shooting happened, and kind of spurred a lot of the people at the conferences to come out and say a little piece about it. EA were kind of crucified for not mentioning this. They were the first conference, and it would have been very difficult for them to decide whether it was appropriate to mention it or not. I mean, you could argue that EA actually got it right by not mentioning it. I mean, you're coming out on a stage and showing off a load of games where people shoot each other, So I can kind of understand EA's stance by not really bringing it up. But at the same time, they looked really bad by the end of E3, didn't they? Because they became the only conference that didn't mention it.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, but this was a big moment of E3, and I think largely the guys that did mention it, it was fairly tasteful. I thought Aisha Tyler, considering the weird dance troupe she had around her, I think she did a very decent job of
that must have been difficult, I must say.
I think so. And then the Sony conference, I think they tackled it very well as well. In fact, I think that might have been the most sincere. But it was an unfortunate incident that was happening during the show, and it was interesting to see how everyone dealt with it. And so that makes our list as well, buddy.
Gibbons, B.
So the 5th of our top 5 E3 conference moments, I've just chucked this in here, and it looks like you agree with me.
Definitely. Totally agree.
South Park.
Yes, mate.
The South Park reveal,
awesome.
I just thought was that moment when Aisha Tyler was interviewing... no, it wasn't Aisha Tyler, was it?
No, it was that dude.
That dude.
That said the
that part of the UB conference where Trey Parker and Matt Stone were talking about their game with a great deal of passion and creative energy. That, I think, was my favourite moment from the stage shows, because it just all seemed really sincere.
Yeah, that is the word. Definitely.
You'd agree with me that this should be in there, would you?
Yeah, definitely. The amount of passion, I guess, they had for it, and it kind of opened my eyes up the fact that they're not just doing it, for money. Well, obviously they're doing it for money, but they're taking the time and effort to look even into the fighting style and the battles and things like that. They care a lot about this game, and it's just fucking sweet. And the fact that we're going to get the Stick of Truth as well, that was a nice little bundle. We got to see a fair whack of the game, to be honest. Not obviously this is like an RPG, it's going to be massive, but we got a good bit of gameplay, and what I saw of it, I was like, I'm going to enjoy this because this is stupid and funny, and I can't wait.
It was a great cross-section, and I've always been a big fan of conferences that take time and show, I like the Bethesda approach of picking 6 to 8 games and focusing quite heavily on each one.
Yeah.
Far more than the Sony approach of chucking 50 games at you in 1 minute segments. And this felt like it felt very not very conferencey. It was very it was far more reminiscent of the stuff that the various journalists and publications do with their stage shows at E3 rather than an actual conference.
Yeah, moment. It was like a sit-down chat kind of thing.
It really was, and it was
like an interview.
Really good for that reason.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it just looks fucking funny, and it looks like they're going even further this time. Like, it's worth remembering that some of that game was censored on certain platforms, the Stick of Truth.
Yeah,
and this one looks like they're pulling no punches whatsoever. So, I'm well excited for that game.
That's definitely going to be pre-order / pre-purchased next month. After payday.
But yeah, absolutely.
Gibbons. That's a nice top 5, buddy. I enjoyed that. It's good.
Yeah, it was a good old mixture. There was less stupid bollocks this year, and there were less really embarrassing moments.
Yeah, I mean, those people from Minecraft were massive retards.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty bad.
That was bad.
But yeah, all in all, people have kind of got their shit together over the last 15, 20 years, and there's far less. Even Ubi, like, normally when Eve comes out and talks to Aisha, it's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
And they've kind of been moulding that into something better recently.
EA were quite bad when they brought out old Mourinho. That was quite bad.
Yeah, but I feel like there's no way to not make that awkward because Jose would have made sure that it was. But Peter Moore's just like, he's like fucking Darth Vader. Like, he's just not a good spokesperson for EA. And it just didn't look right, him standing on stage wearing black and just like looking like the devil.
True.
So, but yeah. So there you go. That's our top 5 E3 conference moments of 2016. The Scorpio, Dad of War, Yves Guillemot defending Ubisoft, the tributes to Orlando, and South Park, The Fractured Butthole.
Thanks, buddy.
And now it's time for Many Moons Ago. Many moons ago.
When are we going, buddy?
I'll tell you when we're going, buddy. We're going back to the 3rd of July 2002, which saw the release of Warcraft 3, Reign of Chaos.
Good times.
And then we're also going back to the 1st of July 2003.
Okay.
When the add-on pack Frozen Throne came out for that game.
Oh, nice. Twofer.
So yeah.
Boner.
Double whammy, buddy.
I like it. I enjoyed this game a lot. I sucked at the campaign, though, I tell you. It didn't do very good.
It was hard.
It was hard. Really hard.
Yeah. Funnily enough, before I realised that this was the week that Warcraft 3 launched, I actually installed it on my Mac this week.
That's crazy.
Because
I think I've got it installed on mine. We might have to have a game.
Yeah. Because if you go on Battle.net, it's got your old purchases and stuff, and you can load it up. So yeah, I was thinking about playing some of this recently, but yeah, I think this is probably my favourite RTS of all time, and I've played quite a lot of them over the years. Not so much recently because we've shifted to consoles and played some Civ, some turn-based Civ, but nothing much RTS. But yeah, we pounded this game like for hundreds and hundreds of hours, and we played a lot of LAN games of it, and we played some internet games of it. We've been back to it like years later.
Countless years we've come back to it, haven't we? It's just always been there. Like you're saying, you've got yours installed. I've definitely got mine installed, and like I installed Windows 10 about 8-9 months ago, so I obviously went and seeked it out at some point to install it, you know.
Yeah,
and it's just a testament to this game. Like you still have to install it 14 years later. I mean, it's stupid, isn't it? But it's just like you say, it's one of my favorite RTSs of all time, I would say as well.
It's a fantastic game. It's incredibly well balanced, and it's got a great level of detail and a great level of different systems, but it's got that sort of Blizzard thing where it's all kind of fairly free and easy to get into, and good tutorials and a solid campaign. There's a great deal of content there. Another thing to say about it is it really hasn't aged a day. Like if you've got a bog standard,
looks terrible.
If you've got a standard version of this, then you might have a little bit of bother getting it to run widescreen and in high resolutions.
Yeah.
But there are some very easy things that you can do to correct that. And if you load this game up in widescreen running 1080, then you would not know that it came out in 2002 because
you're right.
the art style stands the test of time to the point where it could have come out this week, and you wouldn't question it at that sort of res. But yeah, we had some wonderful moments on this game. We had when we were back at college, there was a time when you kind of got snowed in at my house and we played it for several days.
That was good times. Enjoyed that.
My most memorable game we ever played was where you assembled a fleet of griffins and then hid them in the fog of war on the edge of the map. I'll never forget that moment. And then I send my whole army up towards your base, and once I sort of get past the point of no return, you just fly in 40 griffins. Just wipe me out.
Yeah, nothing you could do. You had no defense.
We used to have agreements, didn't we, where we wouldn't attack each other until we hit the count of units you could have.
Yeah, because we want a full-on war, buddy. That's what it's all about. We don't want we don't want those sneak attacks. I remember when we used to play Halo Wars on the 360. There'd be those guys you would buddy up. You did do a 2-on-2. And there'd be those guys that rush you with the warthogs and stuff like that, and you're like, oh, for God's sake. That's just not fun. But yeah.
No chivalry, these boys.
Ah, Gibbons, buddy. I mean, we never pulled that cheap-ass crap.
It's true.
It's all about the long game, buddy.
Yeah. Absolute Gibbons.
Yeah, cracking game, and yes, we need to play some of that again. Definitely.
Absolutely. And what a weird moment when World of Warcraft came out. I remember us both being like, what?
Yeah.
Sort of hoping for a Warcraft 4 where it was
never
an
again.
RTS.
And then it turned into Dota. Ugh.
Yeah.
Dota.
Yes. Dota. Never go back.
That will happen, buddy.
But yeah, not much more you can say about it. It's an old game, but it's still a great game. You can pick it up very, very cheap now, and I highly suggest that you do if you have a PC. It doesn't matter what PC you have.
I was going to say,
it will run.
You'll run it on a Windows tablet now.
Yeah,
I'm
probably.
guessing. It should be quite fun.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. That was the 3rd of July 2002. Which saw the release of Warcraft 3 Reign of Chaos, and then a short year later when the Frozen Throne came out, which was a big old add-on pack. And I think you can get both of them together now for about £8, so you probably should.
Gibbons.
And now I'm out to scaffold to bid you all adieu. The hangman now is waiting at the 2:15.
And now it's time for the JfG quiz.
I'm hoping it's your turn because I haven't got anything prepared.
I think it's my turn. I couldn't really remember, so I prepared something anyway.
I couldn't remember. I just left it. I was like, fuck it. I can't be asked.
Well, there's our difference in attitudes then,
Gibbons,
for all
buddy.
to see.
I would have made it up on the spot.
What colour underwear am I wearing today?
How many
Is it
fingers
A?
am I holding up?
I got a little something for you, buddy, but it's not easy. It's another one of my tricky trivia quizzes.
Brilliant.
But
I love these. They're the best.
yeah, you're welcome.
I'm gonna-
It should be good though.
I'm aiming
should
high.
Be good.
I'm aiming for at least a 1.
Oh, you'll get a 1, buddy. You'll get.
Yes.
I reckon you'll get 3 here.
That's fine. Easy.
I'd put 3 down.
Okay.
This is my football games quiz. We're knee deep in the Euros right now, buddy. I've been very much enjoying all the football, and therefore, this is my football games quiz.
Football games. Do it.
Everyone loves a good football game.
Gibbons, buddy. American football, yeah? I'm your man. Madden.
No, we're talking football.
Madden 1.
You know,
Madden
the
2.
sport named football because you kick the ball with your feet more than you run with it in your hands.
Okay.
Football.
Handball.
Football.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Question 1. Who was the cover star on the UK version of FIFA Road to World Cup 98? Was it A, Michael Owen, B, David Beckham, or C, David Batty?
98.
FIFA Road to World Cup 98.
I don't know. I mean, Michael Owen's got to be like, what, 12? So I doubt it's him. I don't think it's David Batty. Gonna go with Beckham.
You going with David Beckham, are you?
Yeah.
That's correct, buddy.
Oh God. How old was Michael Owen, by the way? Do you know? In 98.
Yeah, I don't know that off the top of my head, buddy. I can look it up though.
Yes, please.
19.
Really? Wow. Okay. Not bad.
He was in that team, so yeah, he could have been on the cover.
No. Crazy talk.
Question 2. Konami's football games dominated the PS1 and PS2 era, but what was the name of the first football title they released for a PlayStation outside of Japan? Was it A, Goal Storm, B, ISS Pro, or C, Winning 11?
I want to go for ISS Pro.
You're going for B, ISS Pro.
I don't know. Yeah.
I'm afraid it was A, Goal Storm.
Ah, what?
Unlucky, buddy. ISS Pro was the next title. It came out 1 year later.
Bollocks. 'Cause I remember having that on the N64. ISS. I'm sure I did.
Yeah. International Superstar Soccer 64 was on there. But yeah, the first PlayStation game they made... Well, the first PlayStation football game they made was some sort of like J-League game that...
I knew that one.
It was only in Japan. And then Goalstorm, and then ISS Pro.
Imagine if it was still called Goalstorm. That'd be ace.
Goalstorm. It's a good name. I like it.
Totally.
I'm not sure how well it would be competing with FIFA if it was called
I don't think it'd be
Goalstorm.
doing very well.
Question 3. What game, released in 1997, was the first football game to let you control a single player rather than a whole team? Is it A, Winning 11, B, FIFA 97, or C, Libero Grande?
I'm going to go for C.
You know this one, do you?
No. But I don't believe
You're going for
either
it
of those
anyway.
two had that option but at that time.
You are correct, sir. This was Libero Grande. And it was the very first third-person football game.
That's crazy.
Came out on the PlayStation, had a behind, like, over-the-shoulder perspective,
Yeah.
and you ran around as a single bloke.
Nice.
Nicely done, B.
Process of elimination, buddy.
Nicely done. Question 4. What terrible football game featured on Sega's Mega Games 1 cartridge alongside Super Hang-On and Columns? Is it A, World Cup Italia 90, B, World Champ Soccer, or C, Football Fever?
I have no idea. I'm going to go for A.
You're going for A, World Cup Italia 90.
Yeah, it sounds like a solid bet.
It's the correct answer,
Nailed it.
buddy.
I feel like we played that one time.
We definitely did. I got it out the loft at some point in around 2003. Something like that.
Yeah.
Had like a terrible soundtrack.
That's the only reason why I was like, I think it's that, but it was a pure guess.
It's good stuff. It was a bad game.
Oh, yeah, of course it was.
Question 5. Since the glory days of Actua Soccer, game studios have rarely dared to compete with PES and FIFA. But what was the name of the 2007 Ubisoft game that was officially endorsed by Stevie G?
I can see the cover.
Is it A, Actua Football? Is it B, Pure Football?
Yeah.
Or is it C, The Sensible World of Soccer?
I think it's B. I can see the cover is Stevie G with like a grey background.
Yeah.
And I know what it is. I never played it because I was like, this looks dog shit. I'm not playing that. But I think it's B, Pure Football, or I think it's called that. I think.
You've gone for Pure Football. Yeah. You are correct.
Yes.
You are correct, sir. It was called Pure Football.
Nice.
And that gives you a 4 out of 5 score, I think, there, buddy.
I know my stuff, buddy.
Beautiful stuff.
That's a good quiz, B. Fitting with the football. I feel like it should have been me asking you the football game questions, but maybe that's fine.
Maybe you can present your football quiz next week.
Yeah, I will.
That'd be good.
Nice, buddy.
4 out of 5, though, man. I think that's your best score.
I'm all about it. I know my football, buddy.
Damn right you do. Well played. That was my quiz.
Cool.
And now it's time for Fuckwit Corner.
Fuckwit Corner with funk. Fuckwit Corner with funk. He's got some questions for funk.
Has he got any questions, buddy?
Sure does, buddy. He sure does. He's got a bit of a two-parter here. I will read it to you. Here we go. 2-part question, sort of. How do you think digital downloads has changed our perception of value? With games getting discounted so heavily, for example, Hardline for £4, which is half a pint of beer each. To me, that was a no-brainer. If I played it for a couple of hours, that's cool, and it would have lasted longer than the bag of chips it was cheaper than. Then the likes of Overwatch. If that wasn't a Blizzard game and therefore should be really well supported, I think I'd be a bit pissed at shelling out major dollar for it. I like it, don't get me wrong, but it didn't make me Jones for it, which is the best yardstick for me in terms of a good purchase. In terms of disc games, I think the fact that you had to trade in quite quick to get a good amount back made me persevere with it to get my money's worth, and so it was less likely to sit on my console and never get touched. Brackets, Fallout, The Division, etc., etc. Not sure which one is better than the other necessarily, but it does change how we see value from our hobby, no? And he also says, I think Hardline is cool, by the way, so chips well spent there. I love that shit, though.
He sure does, Terence.
So yeah, this is an interesting question, isn't it? This whole perception of value.
It depends how you're doing the value, because obviously we're splitting the cost of each game, therefore making it quite cheap already.
Yeah, but you could also argue, as he's saying, that kind of makes us give up on games more quickly because we're not spending as much on them.
True.
I think, yeah, it's a strange one. I mean, going with the Hardline thing, like, I understand that £4, like, split amongst two of you, so £2 for what was a AAA release.
Yeah.
Like, you feel like you can take a punt on that. and it's irrelevant. Like if the game is terrible, then it was £2. Like you literally can't go wrong there. I think he's right with that. Like if we bought that and spent one game night playing it,
that's
then
your money
probably
back.
Yeah, you got your money's worth there. If you look at the cost of a Blu-ray or a trip to the cinema or a meal out, then yeah, that's absolutely your money's worth. I still don't think that game's worth £2.
I don't think it's worth £2 now that we've got Battlefield 4 again. I'm happy with that. But then again, Funk's played a lot of Battlefield 4, so... And
he's got a certain...
And that's what
yeah, exactly. Like, he's aware of that, and he's got a bit more of a fatigue of Battlefield 4, having played so much more of it than we did as well. So that... Yeah, you're right. That totally comes into it. I don't know what's best, really. Do you? I don't really know how to answer this question.
It's funny, like... take, for example, you with Fallout 4, you were just ultra super pumped for that game, weren't you?
Yeah, I totally was.
I was like, yeah, I'll play it. I wasn't so fast. So, like, when we bought that game, I didn't play it that much. I was like, meh, that's all right. But going back to Elder Scrolls Online, buddy, I was like, yeah, I'm going to buy it. So I bought it and we had it. And that's why I kept going back to that game to play it, because I felt like I'd spent, like, our money and I needed to get more out of that game, kind of thing. I don't know.
You needed to like wring some value out of it.
Yeah, totally. So like, I totally understand. Like, yeah, you want to get some value out of them. I like what he said about the trade-ins. The fact that like if you don't get through it quick, you don't get a good trade-in value. I mean, a good tactic for that is buy a game, like a Game of the Year edition with all the DLC of a game that you've already got, and trade that game in as soon as you buy it. And then you only pay £6 for all the DLC.
Sounds like you're speaking from experience there, buddy. Something Destiny related, I feel.
Maybe, buddy. I mean, there's ways around this. But yeah, the whole trading system, like, I mean, I haven't bought this game for over a year, easily, probably longer now. And one, I love not having to get up and put a disc in. Fucking what a ball like that is. And two, yeah, I haven't got to faff about with trade-ins or anything now. Because like we're sourcing out like decent ways to get credit, like through various websites like CD Keys and things like that. So we're getting a discount there on the PSN credit, and then also we're splitting the money with like the family sharing. So I don't know. I feel like because these games are cheaper, we can take punts on these games. And if they are bad, then I'm not too fussed about it. I just want to try them because, like, why wouldn't I? I love playing games. I want to play as many as I can.
I think that's absolutely right. Like, we can take more of a punt, we can take more of a gamble, which suits us because we love getting new games. It also suits us because we do a podcast, of course. But at the bottom line of it is that a huge percentage of playing games, the excitement is buying them, like having a new thing to play totally. And loading it for the first time. But I do agree with him. Like, Overwatch is a great example of something that is not worth the price point on consoles. Like, that game is not worth £55 right now. There's not enough content there, and yeah, it will be over time. It will be. But if you look at the PC version of that game, there is a base pack which is like 20 quid cheaper.
Yeah,
PC
totally.
And that option is not available on the consoles because they know that people will just fork that money out.
Yeah.
But absolutely, like if I'd bought that outright for 55 quid or whatever, then I would probably be feeling a little bit robbed right now. I certainly wouldn't be so hot on it as I am.
No, definitely not. I would have been really pissed. Like for a full release game to not have like a substantial amount of content. Being it an online shooter, like team-based online shooter,
you're already missing a story.
Yeah,
so.
Totally. Much like Rainbow Six. I mean, that's another game. Like, if I bought that outright, full price, like disc-based, I would have been like, "What is this shit? This is not good enough."
Yeah,
it's just.
I think it's a complex thing. If I had paid for Fallout 4 outright, if I'd paid 50 quid and bought a disc version, then I am certain I would have played it more than I have.
Yeah, totally.
But whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, as Funk says, he can't decide either way. I would suggest that probably the fact that I spent less on it, therefore meaning that I didn't have to waste so much time trying
you could use your
draw
time
some
elsewhere,
value out of it,
enjoying yourself,
is a good thing.
Yeah, I would say that as a good thing. I think
it's an interesting one, though, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. Swings and roundabouts, buddy.
You tempted by Hardline for £4?
No.
I'm not either.
Unfortunately not, buddy.
No, I don't think so. That is so cheap though. Like it's
almost
brilliant.
I think it's fantastic. Like they should do more games at £4.
Gibbons. Well, either way, thank you very, very much for your question, Funk. Every week we end the show with questions and comments sent in by you. If you've got anything for us, just pop an email to the jfgpodcast@gmail.com or contact us on Facebook, Twitter, or at justforgamers.co.uk. And now it's time for JfG correspondence.
What's the word on the street, buddy? What's the happy haps?
Well, this week we've got a couple of questions from JJ and we've got one from PJ as well. And one or two of these was actually a hangover from last week's episode where we absolutely ran out of steam and wanted to swan dive out of a window after our many hours of recording. And I'm glad we saved them so that we can do them justice this week on what is a far more relaxed and comfortable episode of the JfG podcast, buddy.
Yes.
So let's get the ball rolling with JJ. JJ says, I'm probably going to ramble on, so the question is, do you think remastered sales will hinder backwards compatibility on console? It looks like Microsoft and Sony are about to get into a who has the bigger dick competition and reiterate on consoles every few years. Sony said blah blah blah, but the games have to justify the upgrade. Just like how last gen is losing features, so will first less powerful SKU. Then you research for buying a game will have to be what features do you get with your console because they will market the best gameplay. On top of that, what if instead of making the PS4/4K games compatible, they just remaster them when the PS5 comes out? The whole thing is making me really lean towards PC. Sorry for the rant, JJ. So there's a lot going on there. I mean, obviously JJ, like us, is pretty annoyed about the fact that suddenly they're going to start iterating on consoles that we feel like is fairly recent that we forked out on. That's kind of a bit of an annoying thing. I think his comment about the remaster thing is the same. Like, as we said at the start of the news this week, buddy, developers and publishers could patch games for 4K support, but as I said at the time, they could just as easily do remasters for 4K and then they sell them all over again. There's a lot of previous of that with this generation being so remaster heavy.
Yeah, well, I mean, the classic one to talking about like remasters and backwards compatibility is Skyrim at the moment, really, isn't it? Because a lot of people shouting for that game to go on Xbox One as backwards compatibility, but ain't gonna happen, is it? Oh, the remaster coming.
No, and COD as well. Like they did the Black Ops games, but yeah. And what he was saying as well about the features thing, that's very conceivable. I think that the Sony leaked document, which may or may not be real, suggested that you can't really remove features from the lower gen version and put new features in the higher gen version. Microsoft haven't come out and said anything like that. And as JJ says, when we switch a generation, you buy the new FIFA or whatever, and half the modes are missing because they were spending so much time on the new engine that they didn't have time to get all the modes working and everything.
Like, this kind of touches on the topic of like last gen and this gen in a way, like Destiny
parallels it, doesn't it?
But what I'm going to say, finally. Bungie, their new DLC for Destiny is not going to be supported on 360 and PS3. So it's going to be quite interesting to see what they actually do when it's just dedicated to this current gen in a way. I don't know if we're going to see like a step up there. I know it's not really to do with the question of like remasters and stuff, but the whole thing of like, using old platforms and new platforms and trying to maintain both at the same time. It'll be interesting to see, what they do now that they can just focus on this hardware instead of trying to split it between the two.
Yeah, it's a question of support, isn't it? And the problem that I've had from the start with all of this is that I don't believe that they will adequately support the lesser consoles when the new ones come out. That's how I've always felt about it, and that's, if you look back at historically at this industry, then that has always been the case. The people with the shittest hardware get screwed. Like, that's always been the case on PC.
Yeah,
and it's not like when a game is released on PC, they are trying to, they're not thinking about the little guy. They're trying to make it look as good as they can, and once you open up the console market in the same manner, then people will get left behind. I don't care what they say. And I hadn't even considered the thought that maybe features could be included in that. I was kind of I was kind of thinking about frame rates and graphical downgrades and stuff. But JJ's right, like features as well. It sounds like he's kind of at the end of his tether with all this, same as you are, and just wants to build a new gaming rig, which just looks more and more a good idea, especially as you said last week with all the Xbox stuff now coming out on PC as well.
I mean, I don't know. It's those Xbox exclusives now that we can play them. I mean, Forza Horizon 3, that looks pretty fucking good to me.
Oh, it really does.
It does.
Really does.
It's really, really good.
So yeah, and another thing we can't really answer that's just an interesting discussion point, I think, there.
Yeah, definitely.
So we move on. And this is again from JJ. He says, how do you feel about trophies stroke achievements? There are trophies that are ridiculous, like Uncharted. Games like Doom are doable and won't make you have to play it through twice. The thought of grabbing collectibles is so fucking mind-numbing I can't bring myself to do it. But I do like the thought of platinums to show how much you love a game or kicked its ass. Sometimes it just feels like a chore. I think, to be honest, you've just summed up how I feel. I can't really comment on that at all. I'm with you as well. I can't do the collectibles anymore, and I used to. Yeah. I did used to go around.
I'll get as many as I can be asked to look for, and then I'm not going to go through like a guide like I used to. I used to do it for like GTA and things like that. Find all like the visions and stuff like that. I'm like, no, I haven't got one. I haven't got time to do that now. And two, there's just so many games to try and play, especially now that we're doing. I say now that we're doing, after like a year of doing this podcast, we're trying to get as much information into it as we can. So we try and play as many games as we can. So we've got views and on all different types of them. But like on the 360, trophies were a big thing for me. I racked them up big time, but since then, no, I haven't really done it.
It's a case of you had more time, absolutely, but you also had less money to spend on games. And I think that the collectibles kind of thing, I still think that I don't have a problem with that. Like, obviously, I'm not going to sit there and do it now. I haven't got time either. And we've got so many more games than we used to have because we're both working now and we can afford to. But when I could only afford to buy 4 or 5 games a year, I was delighted if they had 300 collectibles in them so that I could just, as I say, this is another case of perceived value where I would just want to wring the value out of a purchase.
Yeah, totally.
And I think that you have to take that into consideration is young kids who haven't got a lot of money. Maybe they're relying on birthdays and Christmas to get games. And they're going to love the fact that Uncharted's got 250 items to find, and they won't even care. They won't even feel like they're cheating themselves by using a guide. It's just an excuse to play more and more hours of this game because they can't play anything else. And I think, to be honest, it's kind of a bit of a sweeping thing, isn't it, with trophies and achievements, in that it depends. Some of them are easy and some of them are hard, and some people, more purists, think that platinum trophies and stuff, it should be a question of skill level. For example, I seem to be incapable of getting a platinum trophy on the F1 game because three of the trophies are just impossible. Like I don't have the talent to actually achieve them. Whereas a game like Uncharted, I could get them eventually. It would just take me like 50 hours or whatever. So yeah, it's too much of a blanket thing, isn't it? Like you can't please everyone there. I totally get where JJ's coming from, but I think it might be a case of a sort of age-related thing, like with us, where I think he doesn't want to waste his time with collectibles, and he can just as easily go and get some other game or play something else.
Yeah, I agree with that, buddy. Who's got the time?
Gibbons. I do like getting those platinums, though, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not so fussed anymore.
So finally this week, we've got a question from PJ, and he says, I've just seen a headline for an article stating that the N64 is the most loved console ever. Discuss. He says the article was an homage to the perfect imperfection of the N64. He says, I agree it was a bit of a game changer, but most loved? No. Especially not with the controller for three-handed persons.
I don't get it.
Do you think... I don't think you can... It's a subjective thing, isn't it?
Yeah, because who owned an N64?
Well, not that many people if you look at the figures.
Exactly. And I'm guessing all of those people probably say, yeah, it was a great console. It was awesome.
Yeah, and I feel the same about the Dreamcast, which sold even less.
Exactly. That's the thing. But I did it. If you want to say what's my most loved console, probably the 360. I would say, even though it's like, well, it's over 10 years old now. There was just so many advancements in that console, and that's why I love it so much. Like, you know, we've spoken about it. We dedicated like a whole section or whatever it was a while ago to the 360, and we discussed our love over it. And even though, yeah, I think the N64 was great, it brought me into like the 3D era of gaming, which was, you know, massive at the time, going from like the SNES to the N64. Playing Mario 64 was magical, you know, at that point. But I still think that the 360 had more to me in my life. You know, it was a stage where I reckon like a lot of people our age would have stopped playing games around that age, and well, for me it kind of just embedded it even more. I would say it made me want to play more because this thing was fucking awesome.
I think that's definitely a sort of point of traversal, isn't it? When you hit sort of 18, 19, you either, you know, there's two ways that you can go. You could either become more and more passionate about games and stick with them, or I'd imagine a lot of people could drop off at that point,
totally.
and life gets in the way, and it doesn't become a priority. It doesn't remain a priority.
No, they become like more of a casual gamer, as you would say.
I kind of feel like it's totally age related. Like, I loved the Dreamcast, and I don't know if anything can come out now that I would love more. Like, even if it was the best thing ever, like if the Scorpio comes out and it's the most incredible console and it does everything that I want it to do,
it's not going to have that nostalgia though.
No, I'm too old and too cynical, and I haven't got that magic in my
nowadays.
Heart
It's just a box for us now. It's a box that plays the latest games.
I don't love my PS4. Like,
exactly,
it's a cool console. But if I was like 15, I'd be like, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah, of course you would. You'd be like, look at this shit. This is awesome. Or maybe you wouldn't. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you wouldn't. But yeah. I have so many fond memories of like the NES and the SNES and the N64, and even like the original PlayStation, even the PS2, like the Dreamcast, like all of that era of games, like up until the age of like 15, like every one of those consoles, I would say like I love all of them.
Yeah.
But I have to say the 360 because of such an impact it made. Or no, not an impact, but the changes that it made. You know, it moved us into like HD gaming and I don't know, so many advancements.
Yeah, HD gaming and couch online multiplayer gaming, and
you know, there was
its
so many
legacy
things,
is a game night that remains to this very day.
Exactly.
You know, like
Friday night's
10
game
years
night, buddy.
later. I can understand that.
And I think like putting nostalgia away, that's my most loved console, I would say.
Gibbons, buddy. So yeah, the article is bollocks, or it's perfect for the person who wrote it.
Yeah,
the thing's
totally.
entirely subjective,
Yeah.
and I think it's got a lot. I really do think it has a lot to do with age, but yeah, everyone's got their favourites, and you just can't blanket statement one for everyone.
No, definitely not.
So yeah, thank you very much for your question, PJ, and to JJ and to Funk. Thank you everyone who gave us some input this week.
Cheers, buddies.
So I think that'll about do us for episode 65, buddy. And I've got to say, I'm feeling pretty good and quite relaxed. And it's relatively early still. And reasons to be cheerful, I think. Might be some time for some games now.
I'm feeling like we should play some games. It's only like 20 to 10. I mean, like, we've still managed to record for like near 2 hours, which is fine. Which is standard. But it was nice, you know, getting back into the swing of things, I must say. It was good.
Yeah, absolutely, buddy. And once again, I've completely forgotten about the iTunes reviews thing, so that's going to be podcast 66, buddies. Not milking it or anything, after some more reviews.
Keep getting those iTunes reviews in.
Yeah, you still got the chance. You're in luck. That's what we're doing for you here. It's not negligence on my part. Not one bit. Anyway, thank you very, very much for listening. If you want to find out more about us, you can find us at www.thejfgpodcast.co.uk. That's not right, is it?
I don't know, but I can't remember what you said.
If you want to find out more about us, you can find us at www.justforgamers.co.uk, Facebook /The JfG Podcast. Our Twitter is @The JfG Podcast. We're also on SoundCloud /JustForGamers. We're on YouTube. Just search the JfG Podcast on there. You can also find us on your PlayStation. If you're a PlayStation gamer, we have a community, and you can find that by searching the JfG Podcast. And we are also on Google Plus, if that is how you choose to live your life. Thank you very, very much for listening, buddies. We will catch you next time. Until then, I have been Alex. He has been Ash.
Hope you enjoyed the Uncharted spoiler cast. And goodbye.
Yes, that is live now. If you haven't listened to it, play the game first. But if you haven't listened to it and you have played the game, then listen to it. Thank you very much. Goodbye. You've been listening to the JfG Podcast with Ash and me, Alex. To find out more, head to www.justforgamers.co.uk, Facebook /The JfG Podcast, or Twitter, where we are @The JfG Podcast. Episodes go live every Sunday, and if you could pop onto iTunes and write us a quick review, we would love every inch of you, even if you got old and fat. Thanks so much for listening, and we will catch you next time.